We're good.
We're good? Okay, thank you. All right, so welcome everybody that's joined us today. We are really excited to have you here. So good morning to some of you. It's morning here in Gainesville, Florida. Good afternoon to others, and good evening to some of you that are coming to learn more about University of Florida from across the globe. It is a beautiful sunny day today in Gainesville, Florida, and on the campus, and 70-degree weather here in the fall term, and it is just absolutely delightful. So we have a great program for you today. As promised, we have many of our graduate staff across all of our engineering departments. We have some of our faculty here, and we have some of our current master's and PhD students. So we have a panel of experts on all fronts to talk to you and let you know quite a bit about our campus, our university, and student life here in Gainesville. We have a mixture of individuals that are joining us today. Some of you are prospective students for the spring 2026 term starting in January, and some of you are looking at University of Florida for fall 2026 starting in the middle of August next year. We also have students online today that have already applied for spring, and some of you have already been admitted for the spring term, so congratulations. And we have some that are starting to apply and have applied for the fall term. So we'll try to have our comments and our discussion today that appeals to both populations for both prospective students, applicants, and those that have already been admitted. We're going to go through a series of slides today, and then we're going to call on all of our panelists to talk at different times. And then you can also ask questions once we get started after introductions here, so we can make the best use of our time and let panelists answer your questions as we're going through. These slides will be posted on the website. They will be posted in the same location where you signed up and RSVP'd to attend this program. So do not feel that you have to write everything down. We are also recording today's session, and we will post the recordings on the website. Probably give us a day or so on that, but that will be out there, as well as all of the other presentations that we have done. Okay, so let's start now with some introductions so that you can see everybody that is here to talk with you today. Everybody sees slides okay? Krista?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so we're here to talk about University of Florida, and specifically our Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering, which also includes computing, all of the computing areas, computer science, computer engineering, etc. If you are not already receiving information from us, regular emails, updates, application fee waivers, then this is where you would need to register and check in. I know many of you have already done this, especially of those that have already officially applied, but if you have not, then scan one of these and make sure that you register so that you can get all of the regular information and updates. All right, so we'll start off today with introductions, and our Associate Dean is here to kick things off.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here at today's info session. I'm Dr. Melissa Sanchanoranant. I've been here at UF for many years, and I'm glad to join in this role. Graduate recruitment and welcoming new students to campus is a real joy for me. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, Melissa. And I'm Mike Nazareth. So I also welcome all of you and your time here today. I know it's valuable, and your interest in our campus and our degree programs. I work with prospective graduate students for master's and PhD across all of our departments. And I know some of you have been hearing from me for a while through emails and other events, so welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Krista Smith. I'm the Assistant Director of Graduate Recruitment, working with Mike and Dr. Sarntanoranant. I've been in this role for about a couple of years, and prior to that was in graduate student advising for a long time. So happy to see all of you and excited to hear your questions and tell you more about UF engineering.
Good day, everyone. My name is Martine Angren, Director of F1 International Student Services with a team of 8, normally, currently 7, as we have a vacant position, F1 advisors for our nearly 6,000 students at the University of Florida in F1 status.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jessica Dalzell. I am an academic advisor in the Agricultural and Biological Engineering Department, and I'm glad to see everybody here today.
Hello, my name is Rachata Muni Pirakul. I go by short. I'm also from ABE, the same as Jessica. I'm an interim. I'm not sure if I'm still an interim, but I think I'm an interim graduate coordinator, and happy to see you all.
Good morning, I'm Christina Sapp, and I do the graduate admissions for our CISE department. Happy to have you guys here this morning.
Hi, everybody. My name is Julissa Nunez. I'm the Graduate Admissions Officer for the Electrical and Computer Engineering Department. Welcome.
And Pam's not able to join us at the last second today, so we'll move to you, Paula.
Hi, everyone. My name is Paula Hendricks. I'm the Academic Program Specialist for ESSE, which has the Civil, Coastal, and Environmental Engineering Sciences programs.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Brittany Guerriere. I'm the Graduate Admissions Advisor for Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. It's lovely to have you here this morning.
Greetings, my name is Allison Beatty, and I represent the Material Science Engineering and Nuclear Engineering programs, and we're excited to have you here today.
And we have a great group of some of our current graduate students, and we'll let them introduce themselves as well.
Hi, everyone. My name is Cynthia Iluago, and I am a PhD student in chemical engineering. Nice to meet you all.
Hi, my name is Emily Gunger. I'm a PhD student in the Nuclear Engineering Department. That's under the Material Science Department. And I'm also your co-chair for your Engineering Graduate Student Council here at UF.
Did Paul make it? I didn't see. Does anybody know? All right, he may join us later. We'll move on to the next student.
Hey everyone, I'm Shivanesh. I'm a first year master's student in electrical and computer engineering program here at University of Florida. And happy to be here and happy to be the part of this informative session for the future gators. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will be happy to help.
Hi everyone, my name is Nikhil. I'm a grad student from Artificial Intelligence Systems. I'm also a grad student representative for the STEM department. Good to see you all. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Palak Sharma and I'm a second year master student in computer science. I'm from Delhi, India. I'll be happy to take any questions that you have regarding the international student experience.
Okay, so you can see that we fulfilled our promise that we would have great representation and great panelists here for you today across our faculty, our graduate staff, and our students. So we're going to go through a series of slides and we'll have all of these individuals talk at different times. So now is the appropriate time where you can start asking away with your questions. Feel free to ask any questions that you would like in the Q&A. Please try to address the question either by the program, such as computer science, or by our representative's name, such as Allison, if it was materials or nuclear engineering. If it's a general question that you don't mind any of our panelists answering, then you can just simply put that question out there. So we can start those now. And again, these slides and the recordings will be posted on our website today or tomorrow, so do not feel like you need to write everything down. So University of Florida is one of the largest institutions in the entire United States. If you are from the US or from around the globe, it's a very large campus of more than 60,000 students, and it has a wonderful reputation among its student body, talented students like yourselves that are joining us, among our faculty, among our research, and our tens of thousands of alumni that are spread throughout the globe as well. You hear a lot about rankings, and there's many different kind of rankings that take place that are rankings about our academics. There are rankings about most economical for cost-effective institutions. There are rankings about the town where the institutions are held, for innovation, etc. And I think one of the great areas for University of Florida is that we show up in all of these rankings. And you can see some of those here. One of the latest rankings is we were ranked by the famous US News and World Report as the #7 public university in the United States. And that ranking just came out and just a few weeks ago. So we show up in all of these rankings every year. They go up and they down. But I think an important factor is University of Florida is always well represented, and we're very proud of that fact. There's a few more statistics you'll see here about just how large and expansive of a campus that we are. Thousands of acres, hundreds of buildings, thousands of students and thousands of faculty. But one of the good things I think is very important to consider, since all of you are looking at a master's or PhD program, is we're a campus that is very well represented by graduate students. Nearly 1/3 of the University of Florida campus is graduate students. So we're not just a focus on undergrads and that content, but a tremendous focus on our labs, our research, and a commitment to our graduate students. And the College of Engineering, our Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering, is well represented too. 11,500 of those 60,000 students are engineering and computing students here. So you'll see that as representative all across the campus, in the buildings, in the spaces for research, student offices, etc. But let's call on one of our first panelists. And we're going to go with Emily Gunger, who's a PhD student in nuclear engineering. And Emily, why don't you talk about where you came from and what it's like for you here as a graduate student?
Hi, Mike. Thank you. So I'm originally from Florida. I did my undergrad at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. That's in Daytona Beach. So I've been hopping around in the state of Florida. I've spent a lot of time here and I really like it. So I really wanted to stay in Florida. So that was my big thing when I was looking for grad school. UF is actually a very big university. So at first I was a little nervous, right? I was like 60,000 students. Wow, like that's crazy, right? But I ended up touring within nuclear engineering, and everybody was so friendly, and the lab spaces were absolutely incredible. And I was like, wow, I can't imagine going anywhere else. So that's truly what I love about UF, and yeah, thank you. If you have any
Okay,
questions,
great.
ask.
Thank you very much. Let's jump to another student, student here from around the globe and in the master's program. Let's ask Nikhil the same question. Where did you come from and what is it like here in Gainesville, University of Florida, in engineering?
Hi. So, first thing, grad school is kind of, everyone feels it's a lot more tough, I would say, but University of Florida helps us mainly with everything so that you don't need to feel a bit stressed or anything. That's the first thing everyone has in their mind, like how we finish our grad school, so you don't need to fear of it. And Gainesville is such a beautiful place. You have like mixture of different climate seasons. You can't predict rain here, you can't predict the sun here, so it's all beautiful space. And college is a huge space where you can work, where you can study, where you can meet new friends. And it's actually, if you ask me, compared to other colleges, we have a separate buildings for each and every department, and which is actually great. And the professors are very experienced, everyone has at least one doctorate, so it's a great experience.
Good. We're glad you're enjoying your time here in Gainesville. These are all of the programs that we offer here in the Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering. Some of you are interested in master's, some of you are interested in PhD. we offer master's and PhD in all of these areas, except for those couple there that are simply designated as MS in applied data science and artificial intelligence systems. And we're going to be offering some new programs at a brand new campus in Jacksonville, Florida, that will be opening up next fall. A major project, an area that University of Florida has been working on for a couple years, and now it will come to fruition. So these are future opportunities for students for the fall and beyond as that campus takes place and will be expanding in the future. This has more by the numbers. When we talk about having over 3,000 graduate students, so a good 25 to 30% of our Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering is graduate students. So you're representative on the campus as a whole, and you're absolutely represented in our college. And you can see the breakdown. This was fall 2025 enrollment for these numbers. But we've been over 3,000 graduate students for several years now. So it's a large operation for sure. Okay, so what we would like to do now is we would like to highlight some of the important content for academics here on our campus. So I will ask our Associate Dean to talk about any of these important areas of our faculty, our academics, our programs, our research, and enlighten you a little bit more in detail.
Thanks, Mike. So we are a big enterprise for research, and this slide just encompasses some of our current drives and where we're investing a lot of effort. And so we are an AI integrated university. This has been going on for a number of years and propelled by a gift from one of our alumni, Chris Malachowski, who's a co-founder of NVIDIA. And so if you come to campus, you'll see right in the middle is a gigantic new building, Malachowski Hall. And so that's just one of the physical embodiments. We also have, as part of that gift, one of the fastest, I think the fastest, university computer. And so that's driving a lot of our AI research, in addition to just a lot of professor hires in that area, about 100. And so if you come to UF and interested in AI research, we have a lot of research projects on those areas, and it's part of your continuing education. It's integrated into all of our majors. Other areas of research are, just going through all the different departments. Because we're so broad, we cover everything. And so even as a professor, because I've been here over 20 years, you can just look through Google Scholar or any other kind of like research kind of like journal database, type in a topic and type in Gainesville, Florida, and you will find the professor that you can talk to. So that's one of the great things about being here at UF. And so you can see areas of interest going from, just environmental water pollution remediation, sustained energy, to more industrial focus, Florida Semiconductor Institute coming out of the Electrical Engineering College, and cutting edge research in biomedical engineering, for example. That's the third kind of area you see there. We're one of few campuses, because we're a big campus. We have not just engineering, but we have medical school, we have veterinary school, dental school. And so as a result, a lot of our engineering research is multidisciplinary and goes across campus. So this is where you go from like individual siloed engineering to true cutting edge research across fields. And so this was one of the great things about being at a big school like UF. And so I think I can leave it at that, Mike. But basically,
yes, I think that's great. Thank you. I'd also like to ask Rachata, we have another faculty here in agricultural and biological engineering, for some of your insight as well, as a faculty member for these prospective students or applicants on the breadth of University of Florida and are these majors.
Oh, all right. I haven't prepared much today, and like I said, I'm an interim graduate coordinator from the perspective of ABE. I would like to second what Melissa was saying, that even though we said our program is agricultural and biological engineering, but if you look into our research program, it's very interdisciplinary, partly because of we feed into this very diverse set of expertise existing at the UF. So I think basically I think that's the way that I want to highlight the ABE program, interdisciplinary and very friendly faculty, I might add.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. Okay, so we have a lot of international students that have joined us today in this webinar, so welcome to all of you. And that means that there's a lot of extra requirements and extra circumstances. So we've invited Martine from the International Center. She's one of our campus experts, and I'll turn it over to her for her slides today.
All right. Hello, everyone again. Thank you for being here and being interested in attending UF. So as an F1 student, if you do arrive in the United States in that status, there are some extra rules that you have to be aware of and make sure that you follow. We have a lot of information on our website to that regard, but we're going to cover some preliminary information so that you are aware of things that are a need to know now type of matter. So on our website, you'll find all of these things. I believe that the department will provide you a copy of the slides or a recording. This QR code will get you right on our site where you'll be able to click on all these different areas to learn more about that. Next slide, please. So estimated startup costs, if you're admitted, already been admitted and we're notified, we'll send you or have already sent you an email to let you know what you need to do to apply for the I-20. The I-20 is the document that after you are admitted, if we are informed of your admission, we will send you an email to apply for that. That document requires that you show proof of funds. And I believe that many engineering students receive the Achievement Award, and otherwise, if any other funding is available, you'll be notified of that. So when you have to show proof of funds, currently that amount is $57,555 USD, and the Achievement Award would reduce that to $53,055 USD. Of course, these numbers are subject to change for the 26 year. Once you receive the email for your I-20, it's in your hands. How long that part takes is how long it takes for you to provide us those documents. So you'll be able to log into the ISSS portal. You should already have or create your GatorLink account in order to access that information. Now, you will get the email to your personal email, the same address that you use to apply to UF, because that's the email we have for you at this time. And you should make sure to check your inbox, spam, junk mail, just in case it falls into any of those areas. So once you go through all the application, there are buttons that say save or submit. That is at the bottom of each different type of questionnaire. But there is one huge button at the very top that says submit application. So as you go through different parts of it, you can click on save, which allows you to modify it if you need to come back to it. If you click on submit for that questionnaire, it will lock it. So we highly suggest that you only click on save while you are still working on anything. Then when you are done, scroll back to the top and click on submit application. We often get students who email us and say, hey, I've worked on my I-20 application and I haven't heard back. And when we go in, we see that you never clicked on submit application. If you don't click on that, it never enters the queue. So please make sure that you do that. That said, we often have hundreds, nearly 1,000 students applying depending on time of year. So it can take some time for us to then get to your application in the queue in order to assist and issue the I-20. The F1 advisors will be reviewing that. If everything is okay, they will issue the I-20 and send you an email for you to download it from the ISSS portal. We don't mail anything anymore. Everything is electronic. If something is the matter, if you're missing any information, you'll get also an email from the advisor that says, hey, you're missing such and such. Please correct your documents so that we can move forward. Okay. Next slide. Now, once you have the I-20, you then can pay the SEVIS fee using the SEVIS ID number that's on the actual I-20. And then you'll be able to complete your DS-160, which is the visa application form. And then you'll be able to schedule your appointment through the embassy or consulate office near you. Among other documents that you'll need are your admission letter, your proof of funds, and of course your passport. If you have dependents that will come with you, you also need their passport and any other documents listed on the consulate's website for what's necessary. After you obtain your visa, then we recommend you schedule your flight. Do not schedule a flight beforehand because you don't know when you'll ultimately have your I-20 and your visa, and your flight is not something that's guaranteed or possibly reschedulable if you don't reserve that type of ticket. Once you have everything scheduled and in hand, you are able to enter the US up to 30 days prior to the program start date on the I-20. The program start date on the I-20 will always be the first day of classes. If you have an assistantship, your assistantship may be earlier, but it's still within the 30 days that you are allowed to enter the US, so nothing about that changes. After you enter the US, then you'll be able to complete your check-in. The check-in is online. It is mandatory. You actually, once you have your I-20, can start your check-in while you're abroad, but there's one final document that you will not receive until you arrive in the United States through the port of entry. So we advise that if you want to start it while you're abroad, after you get your I-20, after you get your visa, go ahead and do that, but do not click submit because again, there's one document you will not receive until you arrive in the United States called the I-94. Now, as far as your check-in, again, you need to do that or else we will not be able to confirm that you have arrived in the US with and provided us proof of the proper documents to validate your arrival. So this is very important and that you do it prior to the start of classes, okay? Registering for classes, we'll talk about on the next slide, basically about the requirements for registration. But prior to that, once you arrive in Gainesville or to the US, you're basically going to need to have your I-20, admission letter, F1 visa, passport, and proof of funds on your person to present at the port of entry. Do not pack these away on your checked luggage. Make sure they are with you at all times. Also, we recommend that you scan a copy to keep electronically just in case you lose something. Your I-20 is always accessible to you in the ISSS portal. So you never really have to contact us for a reprint of that since it's in your ISSS portal. You only need a reprint for a travel signature later on. But if it's just, I lost the I-20 I had, you can always log into the ISSS portal to re-download that. Of course, you need your original visa, original passport at the port of entry, but again, it's just a matter of having a copy in case you need to apply for a replacement and you want to show what you had. And of course, your proof of funds, admission letter, all of those things you should have with you as well. Again, you can enter the US up to 30 days prior to the start date listed on the I-20. So for example, if you're admitted to fall of 26, that start date is August 20th. So the earliest you could arrive is July 21st of 26, okay? The housing in Gainesville, there's plenty, it's everywhere, but they may not be available until about a few days to a week prior to classes starting, since they are turning them over and preparing them for the new students, usually the last week of the prior month or the first week of the first couple weeks of the current month, okay? So think about that as you plan on arriving. Next slide. I mentioned already that we have a mandatory check-in process. It's all online, nothing to do in person anymore. So you should be able to easily do that online, and it takes about maybe an hour of your time, depending on how, what else is going on. So critical dates and deadline. Advanced regular registration is generally about 2 to 3 months prior to classes starting. There's no fee related to that for advanced or regular registration. However, if you're not registered by that regular registration deadline, which is always prior to classes starting, then there's a late fee if you don't register until classes have started. So make sure you register in a timely manner. You must be registered full-time in compliance by the first day of classes. Registration requirements, again, will be on the next slide. These are all about deadlines. The drop-ad is the first week of class. So if classes start on Thursday, your drop-ad will be that Thursday until the following Wednesday. So you must, again, make sure that you have your registration correct so that we can verify and validate your arrival and your registration. Now, fee payment deadline. Fee payment deadline is generally in the first 2 weeks of classes starting. We understand that sometimes there are scholarships that haven't come through yet, or maybe your family haven't transferred certain funds. While the bursar office would appreciate that you pay all your fees in a timely manner, you must pay something in order for your classes not to be canceled. So if your fees are $10,000 for the semester, then you would need to make sure you pay at least something. Let's say you have 500 available, pay that so that your classes aren't canceled. If you're waiting for the entire amount to be available to pay and your classes are canceled because you didn't pay by deadline, one, of course, you'll have a late fee one way or the other if you don't pay in full. But if your classes are canceled, this will affect your F1 status, and we don't want that to happen. So pay something so that your classes are not canceled. Okay? Next slide. All right, so full-time registration for graduate students is 9 credits every fall, every spring. Out of those 9 credits, no more than 3 credits can be 100% online. Your other 6 may be a variation of hybrid or fully in person, but you cannot be in a fully online program and you cannot have more than 3 credits 100% online. Most students are admitted in fall or spring. Some summer semesters are generally considered vacation semesters, but if you are admitted in that semester as a summer, then there are registration requirements there of 6 credits, of which no more than 3 can be 100% online. And then employment as an F1 student is limited, very, very limited. The F1 visa is a study visa, and there are minor employment benefits. As an F1, you are allowed to work on the campus that issued you the I-20 to which you are enrolled and admitted and validated at. So you would be allowed to work up to 20 hours per week on the UF campus. There's a college nearby, Santa Fe, for example. You're not allowed to work at their campus. You only can work on the campus that you are admitted and enrolled in. You cannot work off campus whatsoever in the first academic year, and you cannot work off campus whatsoever without our specific authorization. You do not need any additional authorization to work on campus and limited to 20 hours per week, but you need authorization to work, whether it is paid, unpaid, required, optional, called a training, a shadow, a co-op, whatever it may be called. You always need our authorization. And when I say our, I do mean your F1 advisor, who is called a designated school official via authorization on your I-20. It's not by verbal, it's not by email. It is an application from you and an authorization on the I-20, okay? So that authorization while you're in your program is called CPT, Curricular Practical Training. And then after you complete your program, it's called OPT, Optional Practical Training. We authorize CPT, the government authorizes OPT, but both of them start through our office. We have a lot of information on our website, and we have 4 to 6 presentations every year, so usually 4 per semester, that we provide to students. So you'll be able to attend those workshops in order to learn more about them. And final slide, I believe. If you have any questions, we have a contact us form. You do not need to worry about any advisors' emails. We do not go through our direct emails. We have one contact us form so that advisors can see your email or otherwise help each other if the advisor's on leave. So make sure you're always using our contact us form, and we'll be able to find your email and assist you through that. So in summary, the most important thing right now where you are in this process is after admission, once we're notified by your academic department, we'll send you an email, you'll apply for the I-20, you'll take that I-20 to apply for your visa and then make your plans to arrive in the US. Key factor is to make sure you click on submit application once you are ready to actually submit your application, okay? Thank you, and we hope to see you here.
Okay, thank you so much, Martine. So for the international prospects and applicants online, you can see there's a great deal of additional requirements and details. So you'll get a lot more information from us about that, and especially at the point after students are admitted. Okay, I will now turn this over to Krista to go over some other important areas.
All right, thank you, Mike. Looks like I'm not able to advance the slides yet.
Okay, does that work?
There we go. Thank you. All right, so now I'm going to lead you all through a deeper dive into our different programs here, the master's and PhD programs that we offer. And I'll also be calling on some students and some staff, our panelists, to speak as well. So there are a few different ways, a few different paths to a master's degree. We'll start with master's. Usually our master's degree programs take an average about 1.5 to 2 years or 3 to 4 semesters on campus. These are course-based. You will gain more technical experience in your field, technical expertise, and they could be thesis or research-based, or they could be coursework-based. So departments are different in the programs that they offer. So we'll ask some departments to explain their programs here in a second. We'll just go through the other pathways first. Secondly, we do have what we call an EDGE program, which is the online delivery of some of our master's programs. These take usually the same time to complete, but they are entirely distance-based. And the tuition, as you might imagine, is pretty discounted, as you won't be on campus and accessing all of the things that on-campus students have. And it's a little bit more flexible with schedules and working professionals. Many students who complete master's degrees at UF also continue on to the PhD. And students who elect to do this, if you are a master's student thinking about a PhD and using that as kind of a launch pad to continue your studies, you have an advantage because you will, if you play your cards right, if you're strategic about the way you do things, make relationships with faculty and students, and they will get to know you before you people. Okay. You'll get to know you, and you'll be able to get a head start on potentially research project and starting in a lab. So actually, I'm going to go back a slide. Before we go on to the admissions process, I'm going to ask a couple of our master's students to talk about their pathway, and how they learned about UF and the admissions process. So Nikhil, would you like to talk about how you became to know about UF and the admissions process and what your degree is like?
Yeah, sure. So to okay, let's start this way. So I searched for all the public universities in in USA. So I got to know that University of Florida is one of the biggest public university, and comparatively with other colleges, we have the Hypergator, which is much more accessible for everyone. So that's the main reason I applied, and I just searched for the college. And apart from this, mm, like the Masters of AI Systems is actually a new course, and which is structured in a very well manner, where you learn many new things, and where you get different experiences, and where you interact with Hypergator and other. And professors are very good. They help you learn each and everything. And to being like international student, I'm from India, so there's a difference between the practical and theoretical knowledge when you come here. So professors are really helpful with that, so they'll teach you each and everything, and you can visit their office hours if you have any other queries. And they'll help you even if you ask the question like even 3 to 4 times. If you have the same question, they'll still help you answer it, and they'll make sure you have clear with the concepts. And so yeah, it's a good place, and it's a great university to start, I would say. And many grad students will be thinking like, will I be getting any on-campus opportunities here? You can approach the professors and all others, where you can talk to them and apply for a TA or research if you are interested. And if you want to pursue further after PhD, after masters, you can still go on with the research. So it will help you a lot. Yes, EF is one of the great universities And the climate over here is very good. It's absolute. In December it's gonna be cold, like one, like in Fahrenheit it's almost like 50 or something. So it's a great university, I would say. And you have this career week, where it happens in each and every semester, where you can go, where there are different companies coming to you, so you can go visit them, give your resume. If they're impressed, they'll do on spot hiring if they're okay with it, or if not, they'll reach out to you. So you don't need to worry about all those things. And labs mainly, each department has its own labs, and each course has dedicated lab, so you can work out there individually if you have any research or any individual study. So I do, oh, my interest is in transportation, even though I'm in artificial intelligence systems, so I also work with them. So you have diversity over here. You don't need to fix with one research topic. So I feel it's great. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So to touch a little bit on the admissions requirements and process, our admissions for master's programs are relatively competitive. The average cumulative GPA for the incoming class in this fall was 3.52 out of 4.0 scale. And just as an important note, the GRE is waived for all departments except computer science and the computer information science and engineering department. So if you are thinking about computer science, you will need to take the GRE, but that is the only program where that is required. Application requirements are pretty standard across the board. These are the requirements for the graduate school and the Office of Admissions, but I encourage everybody to look at their individual department websites because they may have additional requirements that you need to do for the admissions process. And I will call on another student. Palak, would you like to describe, tell us about your application process and how that went for you?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. First, initially, I think for like shortlisting UF as my top university, it was actually my top choice, was definitely the ROI that we get with this, because I think the fees overall structure for MS and CS is pretty low as compared to other good public universities. So that was one of the major factors. And then definitely, I think something that really brought me into UF was the gated network, as in like whoever that you reach out to, let's say even on LinkedIn or just in career fairs or such opportunities, I think it has been really good. People are highly responsive and they actually really want to help. So that was, I think, those were, I think, my two top reasons. And I think the admissions process was actually quite smooth sailing for me. I think because I attended one of these webinars as well, and I think the admissions department in CS is very, very helpful. And like the response time is very low, and people just answer any questions that you have. They can be the most basic questions to exist, but they really are pretty helpful and responsive. So I think, yeah, that's pretty much sums it for me. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Jalissa, did you have something to add?
Yes, I wanted to point out two things. One, the IELTS requirement actually just went up a couple weeks ago. It's actually a 6.5 is the minimum. So you just want to make sure that it's a 6.5 or higher. And then I just wanted to emphasize what Krista already had on the slides about checking the department website. A lot of the departments have specific requirements, especially if it's for PhD students. So you want to make sure that you're not missing any of the requirements. So make sure that you're always checking the department website. For example, in our department, we only have one Master of Science program, the Electrical and Computer Engineering Master of Science. But there's also a Computer Engineering Master of Science, and that one belongs specifically to the CISE department. So I've had a lot of times where people apply for one or the other, and then meant to apply for the other. So just please be sure that you're always checking that.
All right, thank you. All right, I know there's been a lot of questions about application fee waivers in the Q&A, so I promised we would get to that. For master's students, here is a chart of the departments that have fee waivers available. Unfortunately, computer information science and engineering, they do not have fee waivers available, but all of their departments do. For SE and chemical engineering, you will need to contact the department to get more information about a fee waiver, and that contact information is listed here. And additional information down at the websites below. And just as a note, our application fee, if you do end up having to pay it, is very low compared to other institutions across the US. It's only $30. Other institutions I've seen range from $75 to $150. They can be a lot more. So just to keep that in mind. Okay, we'll go over our PhD programs now, and I'll be calling on some of our PhD students here in a second. But just to start, there are a few different paths to a PhD. So as I mentioned, you can continue on to a PhD from the master's degree here at UF, which it says an average of 3 years here on our slide with a caveat, because that is research dependent. So you have gotten a head start on your coursework, but you may or may not be able to finish in 3 years. So that's all dependent on variables that we cannot really control, right? So other ways to the PhD are if you're coming in with a bachelor's degree direct from your undergrad institution, the average time to degree is 4.5 to 5 years. And if you have a master's degree already, and you're applying to the PhD, that may be diminished a little bit by a year or so. As I said, with coming in with a PhD, or I'm sorry, a master's from UF, you will have completed your master's coursework already, so that will take a little bit of time off your degree, but you still have all of the research requirements to finish. So as you might expect, our PhD programs are very competitive. We admitted 23% of our applicants for fall 2025, and 44% of those enrolled. So almost half, which is a number we're really proud of. It means a lot of people were excited about UF when they applied here and were offered admission. The average GPA was 3.69, and there's no GRE scores listed here because that is waived for all departments, and that is including computer and information science and engineering. Just like the master's degree, the application requirements are pretty standard. And just like I said, for the master's programs, please check your departmental websites, because I know for a fact that some of their PhD programs require additional documents or information. Sometimes they have additional questions to ask you, so please check those. Let's talk to Cynthia. Cynthia, would you like to tell us about your admissions experience and process, and how you ended up at UF?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, so I'm from Nigeria, and originally when I started applying to the United States, UF was one of my top universities on my list. And so I attended the session for chemical engineering program as well, and I got my fee waived. And my bachelor's was in materials and metallurgical engineering, so I got direct admission to PhD in chemical engineering, and that was a very good fit for me, like with UF as a top university. And so so when I got the admission, it was really smooth because the professors were very nice. Like I got a lot of emails from them trying to ask me about settling in, and like getting me started with the school. So everything was really smooth for me, and I got connected with the students that were already in their PhD program at UF, and I had a lot of mentors on the way. So the students were really very nice and responsive. So like the smooth and the transitioning was very good for me. So like that makes UF stand out compared to other universities as well. So when I came onto campus, it was very easy for me to relate with students, because I already know a lot of them before I came in, and the professors as well. They were very nice. So at UF, I had a lot of opportunity to do some stuff. We have the UF facilities that you can go if you're if you want to get off from work. So we have a lot of good resources at UF, including food pantry. Like you can get extra food. So like UF has a lot of great stuff. Plus the weather is very good. So I don't worry about it because like it's similar weather to Nigeria. Like I've not seen snowfall here anyway. So that's really a good thing with Florida. And we have a lot of places to visit like Orlando. So it's like, yeah, the PhD may be stressful, but you have a lot of resources like to help you with your work-life balance. And you have good people here to help you with your academics. You can attend group studies. You have good students like that know everything that they can, talk to you about like what they know. And you can also like find help with the professors as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. So again, we have application fee waivers available for PhD programs. They are a little bit more limited than the master's fee waivers that we offer. And you'll see on the chart here which departments offer those. For international students, there are some departments that you'll need to reach out to the department to get more information about fee waivers. But if you are a US citizen, you will need to register with us, and you should get information about an application fee waiver. Most of you, I think, probably already have done that. So hopefully you're getting those messages from us and you've already received instructions on how to get that. So I'm going to pause here and talk to some staff, some of our admissions professionals and experts about their requirements specifically for their different programs, for the master's and PhD programs. So Christina, would you like to talk about computer and information science and engineering?
Yeah, thank you. So good morning, everybody. So we have our admission for master's as well as the PhD program. The admissions, Krista has on the slide pretty much everything that she had except our GPA. Really, we like to see 3.3 or higher. Our TOEFL is a little higher, it's 90. Our IELTS score is 7.5 instead of the 6.5 that is required. The GRE is 308 total. For the PhD program, I've had some questions about that. For the PhD program, the GRE is not required. For our master's program, we require, well, for both, we say we want 3 letters of recommendations. We know that it's hard getting 3 letters of recommendation sometimes. So for the master's program, we will accept 2. If you're applying for the PhD program, I strongly, strongly encourage you to get 3 letters of recommendations. As well as one thing for the PhD program, because I do get this a lot of times, what can I do, to apply and to make me kind of stand out? The one thing that I would suggest, so if you're applying to the PhD program, please do not reach out to faculty. Our faculty gets hundreds of emails a day. We really advocate for not emailing them and asking them if they're hiring. Please don't ask me either. I don't know. We have over 50 faculty. I cannot keep up with that. So my suggestion is to you, I know for, I take your application once it's completed, put it in a file. All of our faculty that are looking to hire do look at every applicant. And what they'll do is they'll look and they'll see. So what I would encourage you to do is in your statement of purpose, if you go to our website, look at the research areas, find out what is interesting to you, what may be your field of study, put that in, put the professor's name in that, because that's what's going to trigger them to say, let me take more of a look at this student. They're looking, they're interested in my research, my program. So that's the only difference between the two is because they are the same, is just stating that. But again, please, please, please do not reach out to any faculty. That's it. Thank you, Krista.
Okay, thank you. Let's hear from Allison about material science and nuclear engineering, because I know every department does things a little differently. So we'll hear
Yes,
from well.
definitely. And that's what I've also been answering in some of the chat. It's very important. Again, I'll reiterate, go to your department's website. because just like they did not want professors to be contacted, our department does. You can reach out, you can go to our website, you can look at the various research opportunities that they have. And if you find something that you are interested in, you can reach out to them. But that's with both in material science and in nuclear. But that's the difference between departments. So again, going back there, you can reach out to them. As far as just application itself, definitely you can put we definitely have your professional statement and your letters of references. I answered another question. We require 3, but if you have more, that's okay too as well. It's not going to penalize you as well. So, definitely, and for our department, we can accept unofficial transcripts for review, and so, but that can be different for each department. So again, your best information is to go to the specific department that you're applying to find out what you can and can't do with professors, just with the procedures and applying in general.
All right, great. Thanks, Allison. Jalissa?
Just really quickly, one thing that I noticed that people miss out a lot is they don't submit their degree certificate. If you have graduated from your undergraduate program, submit an unofficial copy of your degree certificate. It will stall the review of your application if you don't have that submitted. So in addition to the unofficial transcripts, also have the degree certificate available. A provisional certificate is fine if it's been within like a year that you've graduated.
Okay, great. That's really good advice. Thank you so much. So as you can see, everybody does things a little differently. So make sure you reach out to your individual department staff to make sure that you're getting everything completed, all of the boxes checked, and we will have contact information for all of the departments later on in the presentation. So you do not need to search for that information. Okay, I'm going to pass this back over to Mike for a second.
Okay, great. Thank you, Krista. So let's talk about the costs and the potential funding options. I know that's high on everybody's list. So as one of our students mentioned earlier, we are very cost effective. That top chart there on the right shows the current list of the top public universities in the US by rankings. And you will see that University of Florida is the most cost effective at just under $32,000 a year for the tuition and fees. That has only slightly gone up in the entire 11 years that I have been here at University of Florida with an increase in fees in this last year. Many other institutions are in the 40s, 50s, and even 60K per year. But University of Florida has maintained to be very cost effective, not only among Florida, but across the United States. Another area that affects your pocketbook as well is what is the cost of living. So separate of the tuition and fees. And you can see that ranking system there. Also, if you look at the top 10 institutions, public institutions, we're the most cost effective by far. In fact, we're the only one that is below the national cost of living index, where all of the others are between 5 or 6% and 95% higher out of those rankings. So when you're looking at your institutions of choice, and we know that all of you are looking at a couple institutions, not likely just University of Florida, look at the cost of the tuition and fees, but also look at what it would cost to live in that town, in that area. These are very important. And we've listed all of those links there as well, so you can continue to check those out for yourselves. So what funding options do we have available? We have some, and the first one is called the Achievement Award, and that is for non-Florida residents. Students from other states in the United States that are looking at a master's degree, or students from other countries. And we've maintained this for many years, but we believe we're going to have some changes to this. So perhaps, Melissa, do you have some of the latest information that you'd like to share with all of these talented students online regarding the AA award?
It's still there. I think starting for next year, it may go down to about 75% what it currently is. So maybe 1,100 per semester. So there is some change to it, slightly lower.
Okay, so this is fresh news off the horizon. In some of our latest talks, our tuition has been so low for so long that we feel we may have to make some changes towards this offering. So for those of you not familiar with this, this is an award that we have given to every non-Florida resident who applies, is admitted, and enrolls to any of our departments, any of our master's degree programs here in Herbert Wertheim College of Engineering. It does not count if you're a Florida resident. It does not count if you're in the 4+1 program. You would pay the much cheaper in-state rates. It does not count for Edge Online students. Again, you would pay the cheaper in-state rates. So it's for the non-Florida residents. Many of you online have already applied and been admitted for the spring term. You will still be at this level. There will be no changes to that because you've already received that official offer in writing. So this would start for fall 2026. So we believe, and this is probably the first some of our staff online are hearing of this as well, that this would go down to 75% of this total amount. So when this is official, we will absolutely let everybody know, change our sites, and send messages out. On the PhD side, our students come in and they receive funds. So if you are admitted and are enrolling, you're likely getting a full funding package. The funding packages here at University of Florida in Engineering include a tuition waiver. So whether you are in-state resident or non-Florida resident, your tuition would be waived, whatever that amount is. You get health insurance, student health insurance. It's usually Gator Grad Care, and that covers has some coverage for spouses and dependents as well. And we have a minimum stipend of $32,000 per year, but in listening to some recent sessions from our departments, those are a little higher in most departments. Some are 33, some are 34, one was 35 or 36, so they can be higher than that. Those are the minimum. And they usually cover a student for until they graduate. So every year there's some areas you have to complete, some requirements, making progress towards your degree. So as long as those take place annually and with your faculty mentor, your faculty advisor, then it's in everybody's best interest to continue to fund the students. Those are awards that we give out within our college and our graduate school, our university, but there are other awards and other top-offs that exist. For example, I was in a session the other day with a graduate coordinator faculty from chemical engineering, and they give an automatic, I think, $500 to every Florida resident, in-state student that enrolls in their master's program. So there can certainly be others that go along with that. Also on the front for current University of Florida students thinking about graduate school or other Florida residents in state, you're very familiar with the Bright Future Scholarship. And there are some funds in your first semester under some criteria that can be used towards grad school. So make sure you're looking into that. You could have some additional payments that can come towards you past undergraduate studies. And there's the website that lists some of those details. Okay, I'm going to turn things back over to Krista now, and she'll include many more of our grad staff to talk about some other areas beyond academics.
Thank you, Mike. So in addition to UF being cost-effective, funding available, good a stipend option that's good to live on here in Gainesville with a low cost of living, most of our departments have events and initiatives that are directly for their own students. As a whole, UF has a Career Connection Center, and I believe one of the students mentioned this earlier. They hold a UF Career Showcase twice annually, which is a huge event in our basketball arena, I think, where 600 plus companies come to campus and recruit our students either for employment opportunities, internship opportunities, co-op opportunities. There's so many things that go on during those couple of days. Campus is really packed and buzzing, even more so than it normally is. So that is a really great event that UF provides, and it's the largest event of its kind in the Southeast US. And some of the companies that visit are Intel. There's a slide, the next slide is a graphic of this, but Intel, PayPal, National Labs, Infotech, just to name a few. So the Career Connection Center also offers assistance. We already mentioned jobs and internships, but they also provide help with resume writing, practicing for interviews, providing professional attire for interviews and meetings if you need it. And as I mentioned, different departments offer these exclusive industry-focused events for their own students. So here I will call on some staff to talk about those. Let's see, Brittany, would you like to talk about what MAE does for industry nights and internships?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to talk about that. So our department is actually working on developing a new career showcase, so that more information will become available probably closer to the start of the spring term with our dates for those career showcases. You are also able to take internship for course credit in our master's program. Many of our students choose to do internships over the summer because MAE as a department does not offer graduate courses over the summer. So that's a really good time to do research, take advantage of internship opportunities. And if you have any other questions about internships or a career showcase, you're welcome to reach out to us. I'm happy to help.
Great, thank you so much. I know that the SE Evening with Industry is a really popular event, and I think that extends to even maybe some majors beyond the ones that are in SE. So Paula, would you like to talk about that?
Sure, yes. So yes, it does. We do sometimes invite other majors in engineering and also in agriculture as well, because our environmental program does accept students from a variety of backgrounds. So we do invite a lot of students to our Evening with Industry event, which is a biannual event that takes place in the fall and spring. And we have about 100 employers attend at our bigger event in the fall, and then about 50 plus in the spring. And we invite all the employers that have our students already in their companies and that come back and recruit, and also those seeking to employ our students now who are graduating or offering internships. So very popular event that we have our students, undergrad and graduate, come out to every semester. It's up for the summer.
All right, wonderful. Thank you so much. And I think, as I mentioned, this is a broader look at companies that have presented or are planning to participate at the UF Career Showcase. And obviously there's some very high profile companies here: Apple, IBM, Verizon, Google, a lot of companies that you might see at national conferences that are recruiting students. So if you're at UF, you don't have to travel to a national conference necessarily to interact with individuals and representatives from these companies. So I think we touched on housing a little bit. One of the students mentioned this, and I'll have them talk about this a little bit more. There are plenty of options for housing for graduate students, either on campus or off campus. Some popular ones for off campus are the pictures that are shown here, the niche apartments in Stone Ridge. And there's some websites there, some resources that will help you to find housing if you're already thinking about looking into that, which I highly encourage you to do that sooner rather than later if you're already planning to come to UF. On-campus options are a little bit more limited, but we do have UF provided housing for graduate students. There's different options by size of the unit that you might need, depending on if you're bringing people with you, if you have a family. So for those, I highly encourage you to look into applying for that early, because I know there is usually a wait list for those places. Palak, would you like to talk about your UF housing experience and where you live? If you've lived in multiple places, what those have been like?
Yeah, I've just lived in one place since I've come here. I live off campus in Stone Ridge Apartments. I think this is one of the best places to live, so to say, because it has like great apartments, it's affordable, and it's like, especially if you're coming from India, I think there's a very good Indian community over here. So that's pretty good. Another thing, I think the niche is like they've renamed it to the quarters now.
Mm.
And so that's like right beside Stone Ridge, and I think that's also a pretty great place to live in. Yeah, I have some friends over there, so I know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Emily, let's hear from a PhD student. Would you like to tell us something about where you live? What
Yeah,
led you to choose where you live?
yeah. So I'm off campus as well. I live a little bit farther from campus. So I have about a 20-minute commute. So that's also something maybe you take into account when you're looking for housing is what you want your commute to be. Maybe talk to current students who know what traffic is like. That's one thing I think I do regret is that I live off of Archer Road and by the interstate. And so every single day I'm in traffic. So just making sure when you're looking at housing options that you do take into account the 5 o'clock traffic or when you're getting to work in the morning, I think is really important. But I do love where I live. So I live in a condo complex. And so it's very nice. So I live in the Gables, and they do rent out here. Um, so I don't live in an apartment complex, so to speak, but there are tons of off-campus housing options, and I'm happy to answer any questions if anybody has more.
Thanks. So it sounds like since you live a little bit further off campus, you probably drive to campus, I'm assuming. Could you tell us a little bit about the parking for students and what that's like?
So, TAPS is our transportation and parking services here on campus, and they have a wonderful map online. And so they'll let you know. So as grad students, we have green parking permits. And so I think per semester they'll run you about $160, I think is how much it costs to park on campus. Um, so I'm in nuclear engineering, and so I like to park at the O'Connell Center parking garage. That's the closest parking to my building. So it's like a brisk, like, I don't know, 8-minute walk, 10 minutes if I'm walking slow. So nothing too terrible there. Um, though it's only 2 levels of parking. So there's another parking garage as well. That's a little bit farther, but my advisor, what he does is he parks a little bit farther away if he can't get parking closer, and then he has a scooter, and then he keeps that in his trunk, and then he just scoots on over to campus. So that is from driving. There's always parking. You might not get close parking to where you want, but you will always find parking on campus. This is a very large campus, and as a grad student, like you're coming in the morning anyway, so you're 9 times out of 10 going to get parking where you want. You just have to realize like taking into account with traffic in the morning, and realizing that some of the parking garages they fill up fast. So I guess that's my experience with parking on campus.
All right, thank you. O'Connell Center is where I end up parking too most of the time because I might get to campus later than most people. But it's not far from most of the engineering buildings. So many of you might be a little bit unfamiliar with Gainesville. So this slide is going to touch on some of the things off campus and a little bit on campus too, some of the fun things that are available to you as a graduate student. Not that working in the lab or doing homework is not fun, but sometimes you might want to explore the environment around you. So as I think we talked about a little bit earlier, Gainesville is a college town. It's a relatively moderately sized city, I would say. It has a nice downtown area with local restaurants. There's a few local breweries around. Alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages available. So there's, as we mentioned, the climate in Florida is really nice. So There's a lot of outdoor gathering areas, the breweries, music venues. There's a ton of nature trails and parks around. This is Florida. They're really focused on nature conservation here. So you're pretty much immersed in nature no matter where you go around Florida, and especially around Gainesville. There's theaters. If you're into the art scene, there's museums. Few of these pictures here, the gator up at the top, you will encounter actual live gators on campus and in Gainesville and all across Florida. So let's talk to some students about what they like to do in Gainesville. Sivanesh, would you like to talk about what you like to do for fun around Gainesville?
Yeah, of course, but I didn't go much places in the Gainesville, but the climate in the Gainesville is pretty much similar to the places in southern part of India. Actually, I am originally from India, so when I landed in, the climate was so hot, but then now it is pretty much changed. It is like 15 to 20 degrees Celsius outside, but previously it was around 30, more than 30 degrees Celsius. So yeah, there are so many places outside, like even there are the lakes, and there's some theaters. We can, even I'm from India, so we can watch the films in the Indian based movies. So there are more theaters, but I didn't go because it's been a 2 month. I didn't go. I didn't explore much places here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. DePaul, would you like to share what you like to do around Gainesville?
Yeah, hi. So after coming to US, actually I've been in Michigan for 2 years and it was cold. And but when I come to Florida, then I can feel the environment, the nature. Everything was great. And in my like sometime actually I used to play soccer. Like we have a very good soccer group. I also play cricket. Me and my friends actually used to sometimes go to Painsbury or Sweetwater, like for the walking. So there are a lot of things that one person can do. So and there are a lot of springs like just beside Gainwin, like there is the Ichitakni or some Gilgrissi Spring. So those are very nice to go and have fun for a weekend. So people can enjoy their weekend this way.
Oh, great, thank you. Moving along, so as DePaul kind of alluded to, there's a lot of things to do, and I think some other students mentioned this too a little earlier. A lot of things to do even beyond Gainesville, because this is Florida. As I mentioned, there's nature everywhere. We're known for our beaches. So we're known for our famous theme parks, which aren't that far away. They're about an hour and a half or so. Anywhere you are in Florida, you're only about 60 miles from any beach. So I've heard of people starting off their day at the Atlantic Ocean and crossing over to Florida, going to the Gulf of Mexico to see the sunset. So you can see the sunrise and sunset over the ocean all in one day. As DePaul mentioned, there's natural Florida springs nearby, which if you look at the pictures, that's the top right corner. And those are pretty fun to go to. You can go tubing down the water. And the nice thing about those is the water stays cool year round. So as you might know, it gets pretty warm and hot and humid in the summertime around here. So when you're hot and sticky and want to cool off, the natural springs are a great place to go and relax and just have fun, float down the river. Nearby, there's also the Kennedy Space Center, some of the bigger museums in the other bigger cities nearby, like Orlando and Tampa. different zoos and aquariums. So many things to do. Let's see, who do I want to call on? Jessica, would you like to tell us from a staff perspective what you like to do for fun in Florida?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I think a lot of people have already talked about some of the awesome culture here in Gainesville. I'm not from the area myself. I'm from the Northeast, so the weather is beautiful here. I think hiking is a wonderful thing to do here. The rivers, I think DePaul mentioned Ditch Tuckney, is a beautiful place to go. There's lots of natural outdoor spaces and live music, museums, lots of great food. It's a college town, so you know for sure you'll have lots of wonderful opportunities to try different cuisines from around the world. So yeah, I think overall it's a wonderful place to be, and there's always something happening around. I'll give one thing that's exciting about Gainesville is that a couple of times a year the library offers what they call the book. What is it called? The book sale, where people line up out
Yeah, Friends
out
of the Library book
Friends of the
sale.
Library. That's right. Thank you so much, DePaul. Yeah, and I think it was happening this week, and you'll see people with almost truckloads of books for cheap. So it's a really beautiful place to live, I think.
I think so too. Thank you so much. Allison, would you like to share?
Yes, and I was just going to kind of about where to live too, and with this as well. So even as a staff member, a lot of staff members, even at the University of Florida, live outside, just outside of Gainesville. Some live in Ocala, they drive in. So yes, parking can be, if you get here early, you're fine. So, but yes, and there's definitely a lot of events, but the sporting events are definitely the big draw. Even if you're not a fan of football or basketball for that matter, it's quite the sight to see on campus all the tents that come up for football season, and just it's a totally different experience. All of our students really are interested, especially our international students. So ask us questions about what's going on, and it's just a totally unique experience with football in the South especially. So definitely great place to live though.
Thanks so much. All right, so in addition to all of the things to do on campus, all the things to do off campus, we just wanted to highlight one of our student organizations, the Indian Graduate Student Association. As I think one of the students mentioned earlier, there is a really strong Indian community here at UF. And this organization stands out as one that really brings Indian students together. So DePaul, would you like to talk about IGSA? Have you been involved?
So one thing is actually I'm from Bangladesh, so I actually don't know
Okay.
about. Yeah, so like if you ask me, like I can say something just little bit about the Bangladesh Graduate Association.
Yeah, go, please do.
So like recently actually we have formed the BSA. So like it has been I think 2 years we have been doing the election and all the things, and over the year actually we arrange at least 3 potlucks, like one is for our Bengali like New Year celebration, one is the Muslims Eid, one is Hindus Puja celebration, and we also have the cultural night in the Grand Ballroom, I think in Rights Union the last year. It was a great success, and we also have some game nights. So overall, like anyone like directly coming from their home country, like I think it would be really hard to feel that they're out of home. So that feels everyone like home. So that's really great, that I have to say.
Thank you so much. I'm glad I called on you because we want to hear about all of these different organizations and what makes UF a community for everyone. So going back to IGSA for just a second, I think Palak is involved in IGSA, maybe Sivanash.
I'm not involved in IGSA, but I have attended events and such. I have some friends in IGSA. I think I can speak a little bit about it. So yeah, I think it's pretty good because there's a lot of events, as Dipal said, that about his fundraise organization. Similarly for IGSA as well, there are a lot of events that are organized. Like we have, I mean, I'm pretty sure that every year we have a Diwali event and a Holi event. That's, I think, for the fall semester, I think Diwali event is the highlight, and for the spring semester, it's the Holi event. And there are a lot of performances, different clubs, I think, from like, let's say the dance club. I think we have this Lasya dance club that tables at IGSA, and then there's also Gator Resonance, which is the music group. So, and a lot of like such organizations also table, and you can basically like find your people and connect with them according to your hobbies and interests as well, like going beyond the nationality. So yeah, I think it's pretty great. It's quite fun. You will not feel like you're much further away from home.
Thank you. And just to add on to that, IGSA does provide, even before you get on campus, a community. So they have a WhatsApp group for students who are coming in. This is the link or the QR code for the spring 2026 group. I don't think they have the fall 2026 one ready to go yet, but we will make that information available once they have it. And they will help students on their way to UF, like how to navigate the travel process, maybe getting from the airport to campus. There's a lot of different services and assistance that they provide students. So if you are from India and planning to come to UF, I highly encourage you to look into that group. All right, and we're coming to the end of our presentation here. So wrapping things up, just wanted to kind of all encompass in one slide what we think makes UF great and a place that we think all of you will really thrive. And I'm going to call on a few folks to tell us what, in their opinion, they think makes UF so unique. Allison, do you want to start off?
Yes, I did want to start off. I want to explain that UF has so many opportunities, and I think Emily said it well. She's one of our students. It is a big university, and sometimes you can get scared, but we have the smaller organizations that can make it feel like home, whether it's your department, whether it's a club, whether it's a group that can make this university feel small. But it's totally up to you. You have the big university experience and with the vast amount of choices. But then you also have those small homey kind of feels that you can get, whether even it's where you live or the activities that you participate in or the groups. And so that's what I feel like benefits coming to UF just so much. You can make it what you want.
Thanks so much. Let's see. Jalissa, would you like to tell us what you think makes UF unique?
So sort of similar, piggybacking off of what you guys are saying, even though there's a lot of things that, a lot of student groups and stuff that make you feel more welcome for people who are coming from different areas. I can't speak to all of the departments, but with ECE, there's been recently a strong push for wellness events. And so we've been doing a lot more of that in our department just to make sure that the students are doing well and like with the pressures, of course, of being in a graduate program and being away from home, all those things put together are really overwhelming sometimes. So we've been doing a lot of events. One of our annual events is renting out the Rights Union, I don't know, I'm forgetting the name, the bowling alley, to have the PhD students gather there. Just to give them something to like have a moment to relax, get away from schoolwork and all that, and just enjoy themselves, as well as other mental health workshops and stuff like that. So I think that's one of the things that makes us really great.
Okay, awesome, thank you. From a student perspective, maybe an international student perspective, DePaul, would you like to share?
I would say, like, including everything, the environment, like every day there are a lot of things happening out in the whole campus, like, and it's very happening. Its research quality is really very good. Like, at least I know from my EC department, like we have our, I think the US's fast supercomputer, the Hypergator is here. So there are a lot of resources, lot of things to utilize, and like I'm about to graduate in maybe next semester, I start missing living in Gainesville already. So uh, and all the people are very nice and very friendly. Like everyone actually will help you to be succeed in your life. So that's one thing. Like it's very hard to say. There are a lot of things, so but I just try to summarize.
That's great. Thank you so much. We're getting a little bit past our time, so just want to try and wrap things up a little bit. There's so many things we could talk about that make UF amazing and what we want to share with you, but we want to be respectful of time. So I will turn things back over to Mike to wrap things up.
Okay, thanks so much, Krista. So yes, we've gone a solid 90 minutes here. So this has been great. I think we covered lots of different topics. Here's a listing of the direct emails of many of the individuals that are on the program today, and that even a few others that are not here today. So feel free to reach out to all of them at any time, so we continue to answer some of the many questions that you have. So we'll just, in closing today, I guess, how about Melissa, do you have some departing words for these prospective students that are all looking at University of Florida?
I'm just going to say, please come. Apply and come. It'll be great.
Okay, so thank you everybody for your time. Feel free to stay in touch with any of us. We're very happy with your interest in our programs. We know that you are all talented individuals and you have choices to make, that you're all looking at several institutions, and we're delighted that University of Florida is among them. We'll be in touch with you many times from here through the beginning of the spring term or the fall term. This will not be the last effort. And thank you again for your continued interest in our campus and University of Florida.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
everybody.
Bye.